Hello. Hello, everybody. Um, oh my goodness. Thank you for those of you who've been waiting. I said I was going to start at 10:30. I've just done a gig and I've just got here. I've just run upstairs into my studio. I've mad panic trying to get it all together. So, yeah, there's a good chance this is going to be a bit of a shoddy stream tonight, but crucially, I'm doing it. So, yes. Hello, James Glue. Hello, Mr. Spoon. Hello, Lee Kemp. Thank you so much for saying hello and for joining me on this little kind of thing that we're going to do tonight. It's too much. I was in London earlier. I got back around 3-ish. Managed to do Sonic talk. Then shot off, done a gig. Just got in. So it's all a little bit, woohoo. Anyway. The seat of the pants, that's what we live for, seat of the pants kind of things, don't we? Ask your head, hello, hey Gary, John Carter, Homegrown, Matt Brown, Half God, Half Biscuit, thank you so much for joining me. Great, we've got a show, got an audience. Let's see what we can do. Yeah, thank you. So, yes, I was on Sonic Talk earlier. It was a good episode with Richard Hilton, which was great to be on the show with him. I haven't been on there for a while with him, and Nick, of course. But yeah, so, yeah. Mr. Fat Dust. Look. Remember this? Yeah, so, I mean, look at this. It's a right hodgepodge in front of us here. Ostensibly, what we're going to be looking at today is this Kaosspad, because I think that it merits a closer look, because it's actually pretty cool. I think it's a bit more powerful than perhaps most people are aware of. I mean, it's kind of flawed in its way. You build it out of a kit, you have to kind of stick it together, and actually I've just taken it with me to London and it's already got a little bit of battle damage on there, so I don't expect its build quality to be particularly good, and I think it really could do with some sort of extra casing. For those of you who might know what that suspicious wink might mean. But yes, we will delve into what this is and why it deserves a little closer attention. I'm sure many of you will know about it, but I've been quite surprised about how actually programmable it is on the unit itself. There is an editor that you can use for it. I'm not going to bother with that tonight. I just haven't had time. So we're going to just deal with it directly. And I'll explain all I know about it so far, which is only a little bit because I've only just got it. I got it from Elevator Sound in Bristol, and they've got it on sale. They might still have it on sale. I'll have to have a little look, or if someone else could do that for me, that would be much appreciated. But yeah, I mean, I paid about, I think it was £129 for it or something, which on some ways that's actually quite cheap. And then in other ways, that's kind of expensive, especially, you know, the build quality is not great. Hey, Wagyu. Oh, yeah, thanks everyone for joining me. This is great. And sorry it's so late. As I say, I've just done a gig and I just had to hotfoot it here. I thought I was going to be able to get off quicker, but you know how these things go. Anyway, so, as I say, just got this the other day, just put it together. It takes, I don't know, 20 minutes to assemble. No soldering involved. Oh, thanks, James Glue. So, Elevator have got them for 129. And yeah, I think that really, given what it can do, that's not too bad, because it uses that Log SDK, as it's called. So there are third-party developers, Sine Vibes most notably, developing stuff that can be done on this. But I think quite interestingly as well, Loopop has released well, actually, it's Loopop has made a kind of recreation in a way of the Soma Cosmos, Loopop and Loopop's son, I believe, done it. I think it's available for the princely sum of £4. I haven't bought it yet. Half God, half Beat says that the Beast says that the Roat interests them. Well, that's this thing here. I've made a few videos with these already, but the reason why I've put these out is because I've just, I say I've just been to London. I was on the train, and this was my little threesome, if you will. And they work really quite well together. Marish is saying, does it have exposed circuits on the side? No, not directly on here, but let's have a little tour. We got on this panel here, we've got a volume control. Both these these are reversible. Do you remember when we used to get reversible, like a reversible t-shirt or things like that? These are reversible sides, so they can be either black or red, this rather fetching metallic red. And it really is, it's just a few fiddly screws and then and you just put it together. Hello, Tim Dale. We got a nice crowd here. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. It really does mean a lot. Jim Glue is saying get a glue gun on the jacks inside if you want to take it on the road. Okay, that's an interesting idea. Okay, so speaking of the jacks, let's have a look what we got here. I'm really sorry, it's a real haphazard show, this one. But yeah, we've got stereo in and out, but crucially, and this was what makes it different from some of the other Kaosspads, it's got sync in and out on mini jack there. Powered by USB-C. There's no batteries in this, and then there's a little on-off switch just by there. Okay, so yeah, not an awful lot of connectivity, but it should be mentioned that this USB-C connection, if you can connect it to the computer, then you get MIDI. Not audio, but you do get MIDI over USB. Hey, Jack. Hey, Jack O'Connor. Okay, thanks so much for joining me. Or joining us. We are one big happy family of sorts. But yeah, okay. Again, apologies for the haphazard nature of this show, but it was either this or no show, so at least it's something. But yeah. So, as I mentioned then, it comes with a bunch of stuff inside it, but it also, you can customize it with, and there's quite a few things you can download for it so far. When I got it, I was just about to delve in and download a whole bunch of things, but then I thought, hang on a moment. I should learn what's in here already before I go and fill it up with a load of other things, because it does have quite a lot of stuff in it. Now, for those of you who are not aware, what kind of makes this pretty special is you've got 4 effects that you can have simultaneously. And I think what made this interesting to me, I do have some other Kaosspads here, but this one, the fact that you can layer these 4 effects up, and the way you can customize that, and that's what we'll be doing tonight, is actually quite cool, quite surprising. As I say, there's an editor available, but we're going to do it all on board today. I think maybe I should get some sounds up on it first, and then, first I'll just complete this little tour, because so any of you who've got the mini KP, which I think is really good actually for what it is, this gives you an extra control on the front here, which is an effect depth. I say it's an effect depth. That is a parameter that you can set to control, or rather that's a control that you can set to control any parameter. And then you've got the X and Y on here, but also we've got a mute. And what the mute does is the mute just mutes the input signal. So if we had like a delay on there, for instance, we could mute the dry and just have the effects going on, a momentary kind of thing. And there's a tempo which functions either as a tap tempo, or if you keep your finger or thumb on it, you can dial in a tempo. Of course, we could set this then to be in, we could have it clocking from that external input, or we could have it clocking from USB over that USB-C. But yeah, and it's pretty small, as you can see. It fits in my hand. I thought initially it was going to be a bit bigger than it is, but it is pretty small. But I'm glad to say though that the sensitivity and the response of the pad is actually pretty good. And it's completely flat. There's no bump on there. It's like the whole panel is just like completely flat, so you don't hit any bounds, which is maybe not such a good thing. Your finger, as it hits the edge there, you don't feel any physical sensation of reaching the edge. So that is just how it is, I suppose. On my mini KP, for instance, the trackpad, or whatever you call this, the Kaosspad, the action bit, you'd hit some sort of edging there to get some physical feedback. But so with this, you don't really know when you get to the edge unless you're looking at it. Okay, so we'll just yes, you can, if you've got it mic'd up. Of course you can. Yeah, of course you can. Why not? Oh, I should also mention there is one extra unexpected thing on this. There is a built-in speaker, and although not that great, it's there, and it sort of gives you immediate sort of audio feedback when you're using it without anything plugged into the output there. Look, we have YouTube royalty joining us. The Unperson. Big fan of the Unperson's music. Very good indeed. Thank you very much. Nicholas Bryant as well. Thank you. Cultural Ghosts. Thank you. Steveolution. We got a good crowd. We got a good crowd in. This is great. Can it do nightmare ambient? Oh yes. Yes, Steveolution's asking, can it do nightmare ambient? Yes, it can. Sorry, whoops. Right. Okay. Well, so let's just finish our little tour before we delve in with sounds and whatnot. You've got 4 effect slots, and then these effect slots you can load in any of the available ones. I'm not sure. Maybe someone else who might know more about this can maybe help. I think that all of the effects are of the same kind of DSP usage. I don't think you could. I don't know if like loading some in negates loading them in to other slots. I'm guessing that there must be some restriction in that way. But well, the first thing I'll do then though is I'm going to just navigate to a blank. Oops, let's come out of here. I'm going to navigate to a blank patch. Okay, there are. I think it's about 100 or so. Yeah, there's 100 factory patches, and then when you get beyond that to 101, this is where we get our user banks, and then user patches, and like that goes up to 200. Yeah, so you get 100 factory and 100 user, which is pretty decent. Yes, it does. It's my speciality. Oh, sorry, missing. I'm clicking all over the place here. Sorry, Wagyu. That was what did you say? I wonder how easily the pad bit detaches. Thinking back to those Kaosspad guitars. Yeah, now when you go to the Korg website, you can download like some sort of thing. I don't know exactly what it is, but I think it's some sort of 3D printing file or something that gives you the basic thing that you could then elaborate on. And it does seem to be that they want you to use this as like that. This is kind of like the guts of something, and then that you can, and then that you could then, modify it in ways, physically, which, like the way that these switches and the shaft there, they all look like they're crying out to be kind of customized, really, aren't they? Let's have a look. What's John Carter is saying? Are the effects categorized per button slot? No, I don't think so. In fact, I mean, I've only just got this, so I'm a little bit kind of rubbish with it, but we'll see. We'll see. But what I've done is I've just navigated to a blank slot, and I'll go through all of the effects categories, and then in a moment, then we'll start listening. I promise. Okay, so in slot 1, then low pass filter. Slot 2, saying off. And then let's see what we got then. So low pass filter, band pass filter, high pass filter, EQ, isolator. A lot of this is familiar to Kaos users. Chorus, ensemble, flanger, phaser, tremolo, auto pan, delay, of which there's a few, ping pong delay, a high pass delay, tape echo, hall reverb, room reverb, space reverb, a riser reverb, submarine. What is that? Submarine reverb. A looper, which in Kaosspad language, loopers are more like kind of like buffer loopers rather than a looper with any decent length. Well, at least I'm not aware of. A grain shifter, a vinyl break, again, just like old Kaospads. Pitch shifter, filter pitch shifter, ring mod, decimator, soft clip, hard clip, sine fold, fuzz, compressor, limiter. And then here's the oscillator. So we got the sustain oscillator, a drop oscillator, and then a wobble. And then we've got silent. So silent, you could use that as a way of, I guess, having something that will mute the audio. So Alberto is saying here that they love the NT series, but the NTS1's been very, very fragile, definitely needing a case for it, and be very careful. Some of the screws have started falling off and the jacks have been wobbly. Yeah, I'm not surprised. It really isn't very impressive in the build quality. I mean, you do, as I say, have to build it yourself, but yeah, it's pretty flimsy. However, it could be good. Oh, look at Thorsten is saying that best purchase of the year. Interesting. Okay. Oh, not so good. Okay. I haven't had it long enough really to kind of hit any real issues with it like that, but we'll see. But anyway, Half God, Half Beast is saying that they're tempted by the oscilloscope one. And what I would say to that is, hello. These are great. I've really enjoyed using this. It's really good. So it's very similar to the data, the Mordax data, but in a little kind of portable thing, a no HP kind of thing. Yeah, they're really cool. Anyway, we're not looking at that just this time, but so James Glue is reiterating then about a glue gun, which I think is a good idea. I might have to look into that as well. Oh, okay. So James Glue has been doing it. Has been gigging with your NTS1, and since you used a glue gun, it's been fine. Okay, that's really, really helpful to know. Thank you. So anyway, we just had a quick look through the effects, but what I wanted to show you though, unlike earlier kind of Kaospads, these different effects, they do have a number of parameters, and you can map these parameters to the XY, but also to the effects depth. So we will look at that in a moment. Then, well, let's just start with the low pass filter. So what you do is you hold the edit button down and you tap on the effect that you want to edit. So let's see what we get. We get cutoff, resonance, LFO rate, LFO sync, LFO depth, LFO wave, the poles, a dry wet mix, and there we go. So those are the parameters that are being exposed to us for the low pass filter. Then what we can do is, if we were to choose cutoff, for instance, and click the encoder, and then we get a bunch of options. We get a sine, we get value, we get minimum, maximum, curve, and polarity. So this is where, and this is kind of why I wanted to do this tonight. I was quite impressed by what this lets you do. So a sine, for instance, lets us assign one of our 3 controllers. So if I was to choose a sine, oh no, sorry, I've chosen a sine. Now you can use this effects depth to get at your parameters, or you can do it like across the X here. I'm tending to find I prefer this here. So we can see we've got non, we've got X, Y, but also this depth, FX depth controller could be what we assign it to. And that's when the sort of pennies started to drop with me. Then I was thinking, oh, okay, so for our filter then, we can choose, 3 different ways of changing the cutoff, which is kind of cool. We could give it like a set value, and like the value scales from 0 to 1023. Now I'm too stupid to know why it's 1023. I'm guessing if it's going from 0, it's actually 1024. So I suppose that is that what do they call it? That type of maths. If we go up, 64, 128, 256, 512. 1024. But yeah. And it's kind of all right. I was thinking it's going to be a bit fiddly, but it's kind of, you can get in there quite cool. Oh, thanks, Kosh. That's 10-bit. Okay, that's really helpful. Right. So you could give it a set value, but then the minimum and the maximum is cool, because then we could decide where our minimum is, and where our maximum is, for whichever we chose for, X, Y, or the effects depth we want to choose. And then the curve, which the curve just lets us kind of go from, look at this, there's quite a few things here: linear, exponential, logarithmic, toggle. So and then minimum clip, I'm guessing, a maximum clip. I'm not quite sure what that is. Again, maybe someone else can help me with that. I don't know. But, it's like, oh, okay. But that means that every parameter per effect can be set by these controls. So our filter could have, we could, let me just, I'll go linear here. I'll just navigate out of this. So cutoff, we'd set our cutoff to be controlled by, we'd want the X, wouldn't it? Would be the X would be probably the most sensible thing, I'm guessing. And then with the cutoff, I probably would like it to go over the whole minimum to maximum range. Yeah, manual then. If you wanted it to be manual, I'm guessing you would choose, like, let's do that with resonance. I can go to resonance. Instead of assign, I could just go to value, and I could give it like a fixed resonance value. Or in this case, it probably it probably would make more sense to assign it to the Y for your typical kind of cut off and filter kind of thing. But as I say, you can, once you start then to fill up the different slots, you can see how this is actually surprisingly powerful for the little thing. Right, I tell you what I'm going to do then. Let's get some sound out. So the first thing I'll do then, rather than use these things, which they're fun, we're going to have some fun. I love these. They work really well with this. But what we'll do though is our first effect, I'll make it a I'm going to make it like one of these not LFO, sorry, oscillators, and I'll take the oscillator sustain, and let me just see. I should have some sound. Let's just check this. And yeah, oh, let's turn that and that. I can keep them off for a moment. And just to explain how this works now. So you can latch any of the effects that you've got here. If you press the perform button, it'll latch like the state of all of them. But if you hold in a note and you, like, see, I've latched that now. To unlatch, long press, and it's unlatched. Otherwise, as I say, that'll hold it, that'll latch, but that'll latch the state of all of them. Long press, unlatch. Okay. So we'll take let's make a less annoying drone note there. I'll take that. Yeah, so this synth then, you can hear, I don't know if your headphones or speakers go this low, but it's got quite a cool bottom end on it. But if I was to latch this here, what am I doing wrong? Actually, let's just unlatch that, make sure that's unlatched. Oh, I see. I had a filter on as well. Okay. So now I'm going to go into slot 2. Yeah, let's just do that with a low pass filter then. So you start to stack these up together now, yeah. Let's latch that. Let's add another one. And now we'll put, let's put some flanger on. Latch that too. And then let's get some sort of delay, or ping pong delay perhaps. And let's latch that as well. So we've just added 4 effects and latched them all. So now when I'm touching the pad, they're all essentially, I've disabled the pad effect from all of them. And if I wanted to say change the filter, I'd have to select it and then long press, and then it becomes kind of live again. Find it somewhere, latch it, go back, say the ping pong delay, unlatch, latch, and that's kind of pretty much all that you can do. Now if I was to change the effects depth, now if I turn that down, because I'm just using like the built-in sort of oscillator, then it's that's almost like a kind of just like a volume control. But if we had an audio input coming in, then obviously this would just act like a kind of dry wet mix. But again, it's assignable, so we could unassign it from the dry wet and you know, assign it to anything that we want, which is kind of pretty cool. Okay, so this is like super basic stuff, as you can imagine. But I think what I might do now is, just so we can hear some of the effects in action, is bring these in to play, because they're so much fun. I'm sure most of you will know what these are, but I will go through them. Oh, let's just turn all these off. Unlatch them all. Yeah, you can tell when they're latched, by the way, because they will flash. So if I latch that, you can see it's flashing, indicating that it's latched. Long press. It's currently selected, hence being red. But if I move away from it, it's not flashing anymore. So, you know, that's more or less everything now I've kind of covered in terms of a little tour of it. So I think, yeah, let's have a little play with things. All right, go on. I'm on a bit of a weird angle here. Let me just readjust. Okay, so what have we got? We've got the Rumble of Ancient Times from Soma, which is like an 8-bit. You can almost think of it in some ways like an 8-bit lyra. There's an aspect of it like that. It does a whole bunch of unique stuff. And then here, this is the Wingy from Mengchi, which is like a resonator. I love these together. I've generally been using these three, but with this being the previous generation KP, mini KP. But I think with this now, this kind of makes these work, I don't know, really well. Power, both this and this are, you know, got a USB thing there, battery to power them with. The Rumble of Ancient Times just uses 4 AAs. Doesn't have a battery compartment. This is as, you know, it's kind of similar actually in build. They're kind of the same sort of idea in a way of these, you know, like bare bones kind of approach. Okay, let's get something on the go. Oh, I love them. I love them. You can have some fun with these things. So, right, volume. These are all droning now. The Kaospad's doing nothing. And neither is this. Changing these will change. This is where it's a bit like a lyra. Changing all the pitches of the different voices. These little buttons, they latch them on and off. So I'll just record a little sequence in. So what I'll do is you can get like a metronome up of sorts. Let's get that going, if I remember how to do it. I thought that was going to get it up. There it is. It's a little kind of click that you can do. And then I'm going to put in a pretty random sequence. Holding down record. Yeah, it's my masterpiece here. And then this will change the pitches of them. Okay. So far, so kind of rubbish, but this is where things start getting fun. Right, let's get some of the Wingy on. So, pitched resonances. And it's just crying out for effects, isn't it? So I'll just go to the factory patches for now. Just use a delay. can latch any of these voices if I want them to sort of drone more, but the rhythm that I programmed will still sort of punch through. I've still got the metronome going, you can hear that pulsing, so I can turn that off. I'm going to load in one of the LFOs now off here. And like, so with these factory patches, most of them have got like available slots to add more things in. So this is like some sort of grain LFO, I think it's called. I'll latch that on there. And let's add something else onto here. Maybe some reverb. There is a filter on this we could use as well. Let's get that up. And some resonance. More resonance, as this is bringing resonance in. Drop the octaves of this. Ambient texture now. There's like a global attack release on here as well. So that's slow attacks. And you've got the fun chaos button on here as well. I think I'm right in saying when you press the chaos button, it changes everything up on all of the other pages other than the one that you're currently on. So like if I hit the chaos here. Let's take this into. Yeah, I spent a lot of the journey up to London and making these kind of noises. I guess this kind of stuff is maybe more fun to do than to listen to, but is... Let's get the tempo up on here a little bit. So this is the space reverb we've applied on this. Chaos. Add a little bit more of a chaotic. Whoa! So that affects depth now. this is on the wingy. This is the, well, we got the three sliders. This one is the mix level, so this is what we're dealing with raw. You can see why these two work so lovely together. So bring the wingy back in. I'll set it just to the root notes on C. And then here, this is the decay of the resonance. And then this is just a volume control. And you've got octave switches. I think this is the left channel and this is the right channel. I think it's that way around. And then you've got 4 different modes that you can put this in. Again, you can choose which channel is doing what. So put them both into this white mode, which lets you do some sort of polyphonic kind of stuff, really. And I'll put the right one up. Ah, yeah, so this is the right one, this is the left one. Let's get our effects back in again. You can't control the volumes of these, which is a bit of a shame, individually. Or at least I don't think you can. I think you can make some quite nice my God, I'm so sorry. I just flicked it onto the limiter there. Okay. That was, yeah, watch out for that. Oof, there we go. Let's get off that. Let's go through some more of the presets on this then. So you got these, yeah, filter ones. Let's go to the beginning. Why not? Bit more volume. Chaos. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. There is a really important element of the Kaosspad that I forgot to mention, which is you can change the way the effects flow, the multi effects flow, and they can be oh, hang on, how do you do that again? Yeah, here, save, rename, clear, routing. Oh yeah, so that was another bit I neglected. Save program, rename, clear program, and then you get to routing, and then the routing, then if I go into that, so currently it's in serial mode, and then you got this kind of serial parallel mode, parallel serial mode. I'd have to remember what there is on the manual. 2x2, which gives you 2, I think, serials, is it? And then 3-to-1. 3-to-1's quite cool because then you get 3 separate effects that then all go into the one. So like if we were to choose that one, for instance, I could maybe, you know, I'm guessing the obvious way to do that would be you'd have like a reverb in the 4th slot. And then these 3 effects then are all independent, flowing into that final one. So I could have like a filter, and then let's get something, maybe auto pan perhaps. Let's latch some of these as well. And then, yeah, maybe some delay, ping pong delay on this one. Okay. Take the holes off these. Let's look what reverb parameters we've got available. So we've got time, depth, tone, dry, wet. Okay, so not an awful lot, but so maybe use the value controls here. Time, depth, which I'm guessing is assigned, would be assigned to this, and then tone, which again I'll use the value. Let's get a brighter reverb. Oh yeah. Okay. Hey, Red Walks. Yeah, Quint saying you can reassign the pad direction and the effects parameters. So yeah, having it going inverted in the, yeah, that's all kind of pretty cool things. Just to remember what we're dealing with here. Let's go back dry. And that's our sound we're working with. Chaos. That's cool. Let's go to different modes on here. Oops, let's get rid of that. Yeah. Maybe the less said about it, actually. Make this longer. Wipe this now. Let's start something more minimal on here. Okay, super minimal. Okay, so just one voice at the moment. Okay. I'm getting occasional little clicks going on. I think that is like if I'm changing some of the time parameters. It's the delay, isn't it? Maybe we can change that. Let's try the tape echo. Doing something else. So on the ROAT, I could actually go in and change things like the waveforms for each of the voices. Well, you're not going to be able to tell that much. Yeah. Okay, I mean, I'm getting a bit self-indulgent here, but I'll slow this whole shebang right down. I'll get those slow attacks on here as well. Yeah, it's pure nightmare ambience, really, isn't it? That's the filter on here. Take the wingy out for now. Yeah. Whoa. Okay. I'm probably not going to stream for too long tonight because I think I'm probably a little bit burned out. But I think I'd say this Kaosspad, it is quite intriguing to me. I mean, I guess I'm being a little bit, sort of using these things a bit more than perhaps I should, and sort of focus more on this thing. But yeah, I mean, when did I get this? Either Monday or something, or Tuesday, I can't remember. But yeah, it's yeah, Monday. I got it on Monday, so it's just still just trying to figure it out, I guess. But yeah, I love these two. I have got waiting in the wings. Remember these things? I could plug that into the Kaosspad because that's quite a. I mean, that's a thing unto itself. And actually, I think with all of the kind of stuff that's been going on about the new OPXY, for me, the OPXY is just like a kind of better version of this, but it does share. It has an awful lot in common. It's almost as old as sequencer of this. And some of the best features of this have kind of migrated over to the OP1 format, and I think it's just altogether a much better thing, but is a little bit crazy cost, the cost of it. But yeah, I'm not sure if I'm actually that interested in the OPXY. I'm a little bit annoyed. Actually, I'm gonna have a rant. Rant time. Teenage engineering. Yeah. The world is a more interesting place with teenage engineering in them, unquestionably. And I think like things like the KO2 and the pocket operators and various things show that they can make, budget instruments that are decent and good. And the KO2, I think, is, for what it is, actually really good. But there's this really frustrating part of them where they bring out some products, and if you're a sucker like me, this thing that I kind of love and hate in about equal. No, it's really nice in some ways, but it's got a few things that are just unforgivable, and I really want to just I hoped by now, I've had this for 6 months or so, and I really hoped by now that they were going to sort out some of the shortcomings. One of which seems to me ludicrous. Now, this is completely off topic. This is nothing to do with what I'm meant to be talking about tonight, but I just want to have a little rant about this. Like, I've just been away in London for a few days, and I had this with me. But if I wanted to get a file, if I wanted to get something that I'd recorded off this onto, say, my phone, which is an iPhone, I can't. You can't. Like, you can connect it, it can see it over USB-C, but this uses this like MTP mass. I can't remember what it's maybe I might have got the wrong title, but in order to get the data off this, you need, if you connect it to, I think, an Android phone, funnily enough, I think you can get at it, I think. If you connect it directly to a PC, you can get at the data. But if you want to get the data of this onto a Mac, you have to download this little MTP thing that sort of allows you to get at the data. But it means then, when you're out and about and like you want to maybe, get your data like from this onto this with a USB-C, you stinking well can't. And it makes me mad. It's so frustrating that they've chosen that. What makes it even more annoying is there's an app for this on the phone. But all that app allows you to do is listen to the recordings that you've made and transcribe the information on there. Media transfer protocol. Thank you, SEO head. Yeah. I can't believe they've chosen to do that. It's just really frustrating, and I was really surprised. Maybe it's my own fault for not looking into it more. But I would say as well, the other thing that this doesn't do, and is a deal breaker, and I kind of wished I'd sent this back now when I had the opportunity to, is you can't edit audio on this. You can, there's an edit mode, but you can't, like the OP1, the tape, you've got this kind of like splice lift, you can cut. In my naivety, I just assumed that they'd have taken the same protocol on this. And you've got this lovely interface, and you can spool to, you just want to be able to splice and make little kind of, nice little, edit your audio, or just simply just cut the little bit off the beginning and cut the little bit off the end. Just basic audio trimming. You can't. How frustrating is that? It's what I'd completely recommend instead, though. It's a very different thing in a way, but Zoom H6 Essential. Here, I've got the H6 Essential with the new gizmo that allows you to add an extra pair of inputs on there. This thing's great. This thing is amazing. I really, 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 really like this. So, yeah. Sadly, that TP7, for me, I thought it was going to be the dream device where I could load my jams in and, like, say, on a train journey or, waiting in an airport. That was my idea. Plug some headphones in, load up some jams that I've done, listen through, find some good bits, make some splicing, take some little sections, cut some of the boring bits or some of the bad bits out, and make like little kind of edits. That was what I wanted to do. You can now, with the latest update on here, drop in markers, and then with the markers you can actually jump around your recording using something like the Oxy One. I've been doing it with the Oxy One, and that's kind of cool. But then when I exported the thing out with the markers are not standard markers that are embedded in the audio file. So it's kind of pointless. Yeah, seriously. 1 out of 5. It's no. It's got good audio quality and surprising. The little tiny weeny little built-in mic actually surprisingly good. And I don't know. 2 out of 5. Anyway, rant over. It's sort of one of those things where I just skirted over the manual when I was so eager for it to be this dream product that I just, I didn't look into it as kind of deeply as I should. And so I've only got myself to blame. But anyway, yep. How frustrating. It's expensive. It's expensive. And I thought that the expense would, I'd get some value back out of the editing that I could do on it, which you can't do on it. So it just feels like a bit of a turkey to me. So Teenage Engineering, in the rare possibility that you'll listen to this, please, 2 things. Make it so you can access the files when you're out and about using your phone, specifically iPhone. 2, and more importantly, copy your OP1 tape editing paradigm, so you could lift, splice, essentially copy and paste, cut, delete, like this, like tape splicing. Yeah. Red Walks. Yeah. There's a lot to like. There is a lot to like, but there's a lot to dislike as well, Jack saying might get the Orba 3 just for on the fly portable sample loop stuff. Yeah, I'd have to look into that. Wagyu saying if you're not using a TP7 on the field table, that wouldn't make sense. Yeah. And also, I mean, the little TX6 mixer, the two together are pretty cool. Kind of cool. You can connect them with a single USB-C connection and you can sort of have like essentially 12 tracks. But my goodness, at a cost. Right, where am I at? Right. I'm enjoying this, I think. Hopefully everybody's enjoying this in some way, but I'm a little bit that thing annoys me. Right, where was I? Okay, so I'm meant to be talking about the Kaosspad. That's what I lured everyone into this. Sorry. Yeah, they did. They do, and like the original OP1 had some incredible updates over its kind of useful lifespan, but good call about the koala sample. Yeah, the sample is good, isn't it? Oh yeah, you bought that 14 modules for 200. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I know it was quite flawed, but 200 seems pretty good. Oh. Okay. That's kind of cool. Yeah, fair play. Sorry, I missed so many comments. I'm sorry. James Glue is saying sell it. Yeah, except that I'm keeping the dream alive that one day I'll wake up In fact, I was doing it every single day. I'm sure some of you will relate to this. The first thing you do when you wake up is just go to a particular website and look for an update. Speaking of updates, I'm very pleased about one that's happened recently, and that is the Bafako Oniroi has now reached version 1.1. So any of you who've got an Oniroi or have been on the fence about them, and remember the Oniroi, you could take it out of a case like this and put it into just use it as a standalone thing. It does so much. It's brilliant. It is really cool. But for me, there was so many issues I had with it. I just stopped using it until they'd updated it because it was really winding me up. There was, things that it would. It's brilliant, but it was things that, like, there was just so many things wrong with it. Now, if you look at the 1.1 update, and you'll see just how many things have been addressed with it. I still think there's more to be done with it. It is open source as well, so who knows what's going to happen. But the Oniroi, or the Oniri, I think there's some debate over how to pronounce it. I call it the Oniroi. I think Bafako like calling it the Oniroi as well. Now is significantly better. It's a lot less glitchy. There's things which seem a bit strange, but like the delay and the reverb now have like a sort of unadjustable but built-in kind of compressor. Before, they would really get out of hand, and you'd have a lot of issues with kind of like levels getting out of control quite easily with it. Lots of problems with the wavetable before, and also with the looper part as well. And I'm glad to say that a lot of that does now seem to be functioning a lot better. But yeah, I mean, if you were to get just one module, this could be the choice, because it's a lot of fun. I've described this before a little bit like, you know, when you're a kid designing your favorite, you know, designing a sports car or something, and you've got like laser guns and turrets and flames coming off it and 15 exhaust pipes and all that. It really does. Oh, I've got some noise going on here. What is that? Oh, there. Sorry about that. Yeah, but it's but yeah, the update is it's definitely no new features particularly in it, but just, you know, mostly like kind of like it's like a bug fix and tweak. Here we go. Here's a question for everybody. What has been your favorite product update? Like for me, one of my favorites, I would say, is the late day Platts, Mutable Instruments Platts update. I thought that was fantastic. But yeah, I'd just be curious to see what everybody else thinks. You know, what sometimes like an update comes out and it feels like you've been gifted something. You know, it's like it could be a really amazing thing. It just unleashes, you know, torrents of creativity. Yeah, be interested to see what everybody thinks. Ooh, look who we've got. Hi, Ty. Great to hear from you, buddy. Yeah, here's two good ones actually. Tracker Jack, the Micro Freak, and the Digitac. The Micro Freak updates. Yes, that's been one of some of the updates for that. I mean, and significant ones over its product cycle. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah. The looper for the SP404 Mark II. That's cool. MIDI cake up. That's also cool. That's been getting better and better, hasn't it? Pigments, always cool new features and a free. Ryan, the Super 6 updates, there's been some pretty cool ones of that too. Oops. Yeah, so are you saying Digitact there or Digitone? But yeah, the Digitact update was pretty awesome, wasn't it? And uh, oh, I'm just like sorry, I think I've missed some. Yeah, yeah. Oh, the Juno X had some good updates. Okay, cool. Yeah, again, uh, Archive worked really hard to turn the MPC into a much better thing altogether. Yeah, that's cool. The Waldorf Quantum has added loads of stuff like double polyphony. Oh yeah, it did, didn't it? Double polyphony. That's some pretty epic stuff. Um, cool. Okay. I'm sorry. I think I've missed some, but thank you for your contributions so far, everybody. Ty, yeah, the freaks, yeah, cool. I think, yeah, yeah, really cool. Um, mm, the D, that's an interesting one. Oh, sorry, not that one. That one, the DS Tetra. Okay, yeah, cool. All right. Right. So, well, Ty, you've just joined us. I was kind of, trying to focus on this little thing a little bit. But I don't know. I might be a bit spent on this now. But this thing is, yeah. I kind of, I will come back to this, I think, once I've used it a little bit more and I've delved into some of the algorithms a little bit more, especially the third-party ones. And I'd like to look at the sine vibes. I'd like to explore what the sine vibes algorithms. I mean, they're not particularly cheap. That's one of the things that put me off them a little bit. But everything I've ever heard by sine vibes has been really good. So I'm assuming that the sine vibe stuff could really kind of lift this into another realm altogether. Yeah, definitely need a part two. Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, I've been using quite esoteric stuff through it, which possibly isn't the best way of showcasing what this can do. Perhaps just, well, we could do it actually. We could. I did bring this. I just had this along as well. So let me just plug that in. I'll just go direct. Actually, I'll take the Wingy out. Thank you, Wingy. Thank you, Roat. They're fun things, aren't they? But yeah, well, I'll just get on the OPZ, just like a really basic little tone, and then I think maybe that'll just allow us just to hear just how good these algorithms sound. Because for me, you know, having had a bunch of these Kaosspads, I was kind of just curious to see if these new Logue SDK, I don't know, these new Logue sounds, you know, how good it'd actually be. Right. Let's get some sound out of this. Oops. Track. Okay. It's a lovely sound. Just remember how to blooming use this thing. All right. Let's come out of this. Right. So these are the factory presets then, and I'll just. Right. So we've got some modulations. I don't know if I like working through these because, oh yeah, modulation pos jet. So well, it's like some sort of jet flanger, is it?
I think we need something with more high end in here. Okay. Jax is asking, is the Kaosspad worth it? Well, it is kind of cheap, and it does feel really cheap. Is it worth it? I think so, because I think it is. I mean, like, let's say for instance now, actually, let me just skip. Let's just cut to the chase. Let's listen to a reverb. That's always a good way of kind of seeing whether something is worth its salt. Because if you can just use it as a decent reverb, then, you know, that's always going to have a good use, isn't it? Okay. I thought there was going to be more reverb models, you know, algorithms in here, but again, I think the sine vibes may well have the better reverbs. Let's latch that. It sounds to me like a budget reverb, really, doesn't it? It's not. That's not like a. I mean, what's this? This is just the standard hall reverb. If I just do like a good test for reverb is something short, like a cymbal. Yeah. You can hear that's nasty, isn't it? You can really hear that. That's not like a super smooth reverb. I think I was hoping for a little bit better than that. Not that great. But again, I don't know, is that asking too much to, you know, or let's say load a delay in then. I'll just load in the standard delay. And again, the parameters we've got available, let's lock that down. Edit it. So we've got time available to us. We've got sync, input, feedback, high damping, spread, and then dry wet. So, you know, gives you like a pretty decent amount of parameters to play with. Again, the older Kaospads tended to just give you just the XY and an effects depth control. So I'm assuming spread is how stereo it gets. Let's have a look at that then. Oops. Oh. Let me just get... Oh! Yeah, so it's just sort of like delay spread. Oh, I don't know if I can be bothered going through all these things. So, I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, what can you expect from something like this? Is this kind of what you'd expect? But I think the thing that's given me some hope with this, though, is that it's apparently there's a lot of DSP relative. Certainly, I heard that. Where is it? I got one somewhere. This is the NTS 1 Mark 1. But the difference between this and this are, I think, is this something like 5 times more powerful than this? But I don't know then if, because you can run your 4 effects, if that means then all the extra horsepower that you've got available in here, maybe to do better quality reverbs and stuff, it only lets you, because you've got the is it like just having 4 of these? That's what I suspect is kind of more the case. And I'm wondering though whether you will be able to load in algorithms that are juicier, and maybe if you load them in, it'll just maybe render sort of some of these, like you just, maybe like an algorithm will take up 2 or 3 possible processing slots, like a DSP allocation. I don't know. I wonder. I'm just not sure. Wagyu is saying that as far as you know, they should have more grunt, but they run in the same algorithms. Yeah. It's 7 times, is it? And the horsepower is adjusted dynamically. Okay, thank you, Quint. So there's a lot more DSP. So we'll have to wait and see, really, because this has only been around for, well, it took a while for it to come out since they first announced it. But I think they're, maybe it'll definitely be something that we'll come back to. But I think I'm probably going to call it a day now, because I'm dead. I'm a bit done in myself, actually. I'm overspent energy wise. I've just done a gig tonight, come back from London, and I've just tried to cram too much in today. So anyway, I thought I'm going to stream anyway. So I'm glad to have done it. Not a classic stream, but one maybe that's, don't know that I got totally in. Rich Nickel. Oh, sorry. There we go. Thanks, buddy. Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Coach. Okay. Thanks. Yeah. Cool. Thanks, everyone. I just maybe. Do you know what? Then I tell you what I'm going to do, because you're so lovely. I'm going to put these. I think I don't think I haven't quite hit the thing that I wanted to do with these things. I'm going to put these back in, and I'm going to jam out on these, because these are, I think this combo is cool. So yeah, let me just patch this up, and then we'll finish off with a little bit of something. I mean, it's pretty much mostly the same kind of thing over and over again, but it's a cool thing. Let's have a look. Let's get these set up. I thought I was going to have a little bit more idea of what was good on this Kaosspad, but don't quite know the things yet. How's that looking? Okay-ish. You can see everything. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. Thanks everyone. Really appreciate all your kind comments. So we got a nice community. Okay. Let's get some of this stuff up then. I'll see then whether this Kaosspad I'll just use it just in a kind of reverb initially, just whilst we get something on the go here. That's a kind of clanger territory. One of the things with the Rant, when you turn it off, and I quite like that about this, when you turn it off and turn it back on again, it sort of resets everything. You know, sometimes you don't want that to be the case. Well, often you don't want that to be the case. You want it to be in the state that that it was when you turned it off. But with the Rant, I think it makes more sense. It's a good way of just getting it back to its kind of default state. Actually, just for a bit of fun, I'll step through the different oscillators that we've got available on here. All digital, 8-bit, quite nasty. But that's where this wingy comes in and then puts everything into tune of a sort. I'm going to get a rhythm again. I just find having something rhythmical on here I think is fun. Okay. Right. You can only record really short little loops on this. Okay, and then I'm gonna take that click off. All right. Yeah. Feel the fatness on that. Just get something, it'll start to turn into something in a moment. Dead cats. Oh, cute. That's the thing with resonance. Actually, I'm going to try putting a high pass back here. Ooh, where did that go? Where did it go? I'm not sure why that's cutting out. Okay, here we go. What? Ugh. No.
Let's get some stuff.
Hey, Tom. Okay. Chaos button. See, I keep losing the sound there. I'm not sure why. Probably make more sense to put a reverb at the end of the trail, at the end of the tray. Let's try this space reverb again. Yeah. A little more granular. There's some sort of... What's this now? This is the grain shifter. Tom's suggesting a bit of shimmering reverb. Yeah, that would make sense. I'm not sure. Does this have a shimmer reverb? This space reverb, what's in our options here? Time, depth, tone. Again, I'm back here again. Oh, the submarine. What was that again? What does that submarine do? Submarine. Oh, I do quite like that, actually. Ah, you see. I'm thinking this is where the action might be. Aha. Okay, and Wagyu is saying that it is a shimmer but pitched down. Yeah, and Jim Blue too. Downward shimmer. LFO to modulate the VCF. Let's do that very thing. Okay, so low pass, edit, LFO rate, LFO depth, value. Yep. LFO rate, value. Where did I put this? Oh yeah, that grain. Yeah. Thing is, so I was doing this in the hotel room late last night. I went to a great show in the Barbican, the new Royal Shakespeare Company version of production of Midsummer Night's Dream that my friend was performing in. But you see, this kind of stuff, I don't know, it just is what it is, but it's quite a nice way of just whiling away a bit of time. So, it's got to be the thinnest jam ever. Thin jam. No one really likes a thin jam, do they? Oh yeah, I do like. I something that I haven't done for a while, but is I did this years ago actually. I had the original the original mini Chaos pads, and I made a little thing with speakers, a little battery powered speaker, like a little carrying little thing. And I used to walk around the streets just like in the early hours, just making these kind of sort of sounds, just to kind of give people strange dreams. Very good. Probably not, but I think it probably should have a review on Sonic. Needs more pectin. That'll thicken it up. Very good. Chaos. Oh, there's the random on here as well, where we can say random amount, lots, random speed, fast. Let's take that high pass off. That's actually the more I'm taking off, the sort of better it's sounding. In a roundabout sort of way. Chaos. Actually, let's make this do something strange. What do you mean, strange? Let's take that. Okay, I think I'm wasting everybody's time here now. Okay, I think this was meant to be like some sort of cool jam to jam us out, but I don't know what it is. Yeah, so thanks again everyone for joining me. Please, if you've marginally enjoyed this, a little like would be helpful. I'm going to see if I can get hold of some of the Sine Vibes. Oh, thank you very much. I'm going to see if I can get hold of some of the Sine Vibes algorithms. Because some of these, I sort of recognise either like variants of them from the earlier Kaospads. So I'd like to hear what other people are doing. And see what they're capable of doing. I'm assuming, I haven't tested it yet, but I'm assuming that the signal to noise on this isn't going to be great. I don't know, I'm assuming it'll be that it won't, there won't be the richest sounding thing, but I don't know. Tempo. I think though these kind of sounds though, in the context, because I could be sending in sync into both the ROAT and the Kaosspad, so if you're using these kind of things as accompanying textures to some richer sounding synths from elsewhere, this kind of textural kind of stuff would make for some quite good beds, I think, and some quite cool, accompanying textural kind of stuff. It might be worth an ask. Yes! You have to watch Sonic talk today for that to make any sense. Love that as well. Before I go then, because we've got a nice audience here, just has anybody got any new music or videos that they want to plug? Because I'll plug that for you now if you get those plugs in. Something that I should try and do a little bit more of, really. Just so we can kind of all, I don't know, spread the love. It's just so good having a chaos button. So Chris has got some stuff coming in. Yeah. Oh yeah, thanks for you. Okay. Yeah, okay, that's a good point. I'll need to work on that then. Okay, so, Mr. Spoon! That's really exciting news. Mr. Spoon, Mr. Spoon is fantastic. Amazing artist. I love Mr. Spoon's music and performances very much. So that's great news. Where can we find that? I was talking about you actually, Mr. Spoon, with Monojack from Beep Boop on Monday actually. So that was nice. Yeah, okay. I've probably streamed for way too long now. Anyway, okay, so I am going to definitely go now. I'm just enjoying having an audience here. It's really always a real pleasure. So, oh, yes, okay, Wagyu. Thank you so much for doing that. Ooh, in Finland. Take a dog bite. Okay. Very cool. Well done. Well, Finland, yeah. Hey, Jim Glue, what you got coming up next? North Star, yes. We've been to Button Moon. We've followed Mr. Spoon, Button Moon. Yeah. Pretty obscure reference there. Okay, got an EP early next year. Okay, great. Ooh. Yeah, all right. Button Moon. For Doctor Who fans out there, Peter Davidson, who was I can't remember which Doctor. He was the Doctor after the great Tom Baker sang the theme tune to Button Moon. There's an interesting little factoid. And the backing vocals were done by his, wife, or maybe then wife, Sandra Dickinson, who also played Trillian in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Fact fans. Oh, thanks, Wagyu. You are incredible. Yeah. So yes. There's plenty of kind of trivial factoids in this noggin of mine. That's cool. Nice. As I say, this little getup that I've got going on here is pretty much lots of the same kind of thing. But, I don't know. I just kind of like it. I just keep pummeling the chaos button on here. Yeah. Well, there's been some pretty cool resonator things coming out in recent times. Oh, look at this, Wagyu. You are, like, an incredible person. Thank you for sharing that information. Oh, what's the Tanith saying? You got a new song from a new project coming hopefully in January. Excellent. I don't think I can make this do much different. Oh, I could change out. I could move away from this a little bit. just keep wanting to have this resonator on. In this mode, you can get sort of chords out of it, sort of resonant chords. Ooh. Ah. Oh. What's that called, Tom? God, when Absinthe first came out, that was incredible. We'd never heard anything like it. Just out of... Oh, I tell you what, there is something I would like to call... I would like to mention something. I haven't looked into it. I'm just going to... This is a little plug. I've not really looked into it yet. I've got it. It's something that I am going to... Nascent Drive by Mr. Spoon. You just sent me a link. I got it to my phone. Did I see that earlier in the thing? Nascent Drive. I think I might have missed the... Yeah, so Joe White, Nascent Drive from Mr. Spoon. How can I do this? Copy. Will it do this? Yes, it will. Okay. Okay. Mr. Spoon's link there. There is a little shout out. The great Jacob Hack has collaborated with Brambos on a new iOS, what's it called? A new plugin. A new iOS app. And I've had a little play around with it. What is it called? It's all written in sort of wild style. What is it called? Oh, I can't read it. Solderbox. Thank you, Joe Y. Solderbox. Yeah, and from Tom as well. Yeah, thank you. Jacob, great YouTuber, very much focused on iOS, and has collaborated with Brambos. Now, Brambos does some brilliant plugins. We've got me and Nick doing a thing years ago at Sonic. We called it Brambros, and we thought it was the Bram Brothers. And it was a Brambos. Yeah, I still feel quite embarrassed about getting that wrong. But yes, sorry, Brambos. Right, okay. I'm just coming up to the 2-hour mark. I was only going to do a little 40-minute stream. Yeah, okay. I should really go and let you all go and do much more useful, interesting things. But yeah, again, thanks once more. I'm going to try and when I do these streams, I like this sharing stuff. We'll have to do more of this. I think it's good. It's healthy and it's great for our community. Yeah, is it? I think so. Just a few little last closing remarks. I've got a quasi-modal session tomorrow, which I know some of you have been following what I'm doing with that. Got a new session, so I'm going to take the cameras again and film it and try and get some more. No idea what we're going to be doing. It's always new, always kind of improvised stuff. Yeah, thanks, Cultural Ghosts. yeah, I'm a night owl anyway, so oh, thanks Wagyu. That's always super kind. Um, but yeah, got a quasi-modal session tomorrow, so keep eyes peeled on my YouTube channel. I'm going to hopefully get something up either tomorrow or Friday. I try and get it up pretty soon. I have got a couple in the bag as well, waiting to go um, to sort of put up. Um, so yeah, we're just thank you so much. That a lot really really getting some nice feedback, so that it means an awful lot actually. We're just trying to get it all together to take out live really. But yeah, I mean, I've been wittering on about that for, for a while now, but yeah, keep your eyes peeled if you are interested in that. Yeah, there's going to be again some new stuff coming in the next day or two, and at some point a release as well. But I'm kind of liking just going to the session, having a splurge with Greg White, phenomenal drummer that I'm working with, and just putting it out on YouTube. We're not getting a lot of traffic, but getting some lovely responses. So I don't know, it just feels good. I'm sort of enjoying not procrastinating with it and just putting out these things kind of when they're fresh. It's more how I feel these days after being way too that dreadful affliction of perfectionism and trying to get things really overly being too fussy about the details. you know Things being a little rough around the edges, but just being more prolific and just getting stuff out. But yeah, I don't know quite. Well, we haven't quite figured out our strategy yet. We've got a lot of music recorded, a lot. I mean, I've got over 120 pieces that we've recorded, quasi-modal, all sorts of kind of sounds and vibes. So yeah, I'm gonna just have to wade through it all really and try and work out how to, work out what's the best stuff. I just don't know. I just really don't know. I kind of like it all in some sort of way. I mean, some bits more than others, but yeah. Well, I'm just wittering on here. So okay, right, all right. Big love, everyone. It is a 12-hour song, not a 24-hour song, but yeah, good point. And I must put it up online, the 12-hour single. I mean, that was back in the year 2000, but that's for another day. All right, take care, everyone. Thanks a lot. See you soon. Right, bye-bye.